It's been 2 years since we kissed $50,000 Bitcoin price action, and we just kissed it this morning. You gotta love it. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, and check this out. Wall Street ETFs are buying 12.5x more Bitcoin per day than the network can produce, increasing the demand and price. And let's not forget Bitcoin halving, scheduled to take place in April, only 2 months out. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, Bitcoin's implied hash adjusted fair market value is now $115,000 per BTC. Send it. We'll also be discussing this is the best weekly close since 2021, along with the 5 things to watch out for in the Bitcoin market this week, as well as Bitcoin hits record high in Argentina, reaching 40 million pesos per Bitcoin, as well as Bitcoin will hit $112,000 this year, according to analytics platform CEO. I'll be breaking down his prediction along with his timeline. And speaking of 6-figure price predictions, we also have the CryptoQuant CEO seeing the Bitcoin rallying above 100,000 on the back of the ETF inflows. Also be breaking down his timeline. We'll also be discussing a very bullish prediction of Bitcoin price hitting $10 million per coin, according to the experts. I'll be sharing this timeline. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Massive shout out to Squirrel Bait. He just gifted 5 memberships before the show even went live. So congratulations to everyone who just became a paid member of the channel, including Phil C, Heroic BTC, Phil D's, Tuffle T, as well as Drew Webb. You have been hooked up. Please show Squirrel Bait some love. Thank you, family. Shout out to Casey Gates, just gifted 5 memberships of the channel. Congratulations to all the new members, including Miles, Sailing Fishing Twins, Matt Kabitzi, IoTech, as well as OG Blockchain. We appreciate your support and congrats to all the new members. And thanks again, Casey, you're the man. Shout out to Doug. I appreciate the super. He wrote, "Let's go, me gusta la gasolina, let's pump." Send it. Shout out to Ashley, just gifted 5 memberships on the channel. Congrats to Quinn, Jerome, C. Allen, Saketh, as well as Chris Robinson. You've all been blessed with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel, and you'll get that sexy badge, which is a star right next to your name. That's already plus 16 memberships gifted before we even kicked off the show. How lit is that? If you're new to the channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every day. Just like this, we're on the cusp of smashing 70,000 subs, and I greatly appreciate all your support. Also important to pump the likes, to pump the stream. This is the #1 daily Bitcoin pod, and we greatly appreciate all the support. And hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live. This is pod episode number 1549. I'm your host, JV, and today is February 12th, 2024. We smashed 50,000. I've been predicting 50,000 on my birthday, which was yesterday, the 11th. I missed it by a day because we crossed 50,000 here this morning, but nonetheless, better a day late than never, right? So massive congratulations to all the Bitcoin hodlers. Let's kick it off with our market watch as we do every day. We got Bitcoin in the green, up 3%, trading above 49,800 at the time of the live stream. We also have Ether above 2,600, up 4% on the day. We also have BNB, XRP, Solana, Cardano, all the major cryptos pumping and in the green on the daily. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap sits at 1.85 trillion, which means it's up 2.5% on the day. And we have roughly 66.5 billion in volume for the past 24 hours, meaning volume is up over 40% on the day. Bitcoin dominance back on the rise at 52.5%, while the Ether dominance is sitting at 16.9%. And my question for everyone here on the live: how high do you think the Bitcoin Dom will likely climb for this cycle? Can you see Bitcoin recapturing 60%, 70, 80%? Love to know your thoughts. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours. Ordi leading the pack, up 14%, followed by Beam, up 13%, followed by Sats, up 12%. Below that, Immutable, Say, Stacks, Optimism, Lido Down, Near Protocol. Now, which altcoins are you most bullish on for this particular bull run? Let me know, family, in the comments. And in between segments, I'll be reading those comments out loud and checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective on the day. Virtually everything pumping and in the green, only a handful in the red, which is a beautiful thing. You can see pretty impressive gains, Ordi, Beam, Sats, IMX, and yeah, just overall a bullish day for the entire market. And zooming out on the monthly, now you can say the majority of the cryptos are back in the green with very impressive gains. For Tau, up 150%, Pendle 85%, Flare 81%, Pith 99%, PLS 50%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 70 in greed. I'm expecting this number to go much higher tomorrow. Yesterday was a 71, last week a 60 in greed, and last month a 64 in greed. And checking out the Bitcoin halving countdown, there's only 64 more days to go until the biggest event, which occurs in crypto every 4 years, which is the Bitcoin halving. The estimated 2024 halving date is scheduled for April 17th, 2024, literally 2 months and 4 days away. Things are about to get real fast. But we got a lot to cover, so let's dive into our Bitcoin technical analysis, aka astrology for men. Check out the charts where the Bitcoin price action is likely to go next. Bitcoin headed near 2-year highs at the February 12th Wall Street Open amid fresh optimism over the institutional buying. That's right, here you're looking at the Bitcoin one-day candle chart, looking sexy and lit as a mofo. Now, TradingView showed Bitcoin price action, sending the asset past 50,000 now. That's right, as of this morning, we already crossed 50,000, and that's approximately where we're at the time of this recording. Now, with significant resistance overhead, a tug of war between the buyers and sellers was the key talking point. Bitcoin consolidating under the previous top, shared Mac. Last time I saw something like this, we exploded up. I see 50,000 shortly, and lo and behold, we hit 50,000 shortly. Meanwhile, fellow trader Jelle suggests Bitcoin was already in a prime position to tackle all-time highs, now around 20,000 away. That's right, 70,000 fam puts us in price discovery mode. We're only 20 G's away. Send it. Now, historically, it does not take very long for Bitcoin to reach the other end of this range. Is this time different? What are your thoughts? Now, some are cautiously approaching the 50,000 topic. Amongst them, Keith Allen, co-founder of Trading Resource Material Indicators. He wrote on February 12th, would do well to retest support again, but traders should not take the consolidation scenario as a given. While I think it would be healthy to see Bitcoin retest support, confirm the resistance, flip, and establish a foundation for another leg up, we must be prepared for the opposite scenario as well. Well, clearly the opposite scenario didn't play out, but quoting him here, there is a lot of sentiment for 50,000 and there isn't a lot of ass liquidity above it to slow the price down if it manages to break the golden pocket, which is the 0.618 Fibonacci. If it does, the shorts are going to get hella squeezed. And guess what we just witnessed? Shorts get hella squeezed. Now, Bitcoin ETF flows fuel the bullish price takes. US spot Bitcoin ETFs garnered increasing interest as the week began. Inflows saw their second best day with the prior week, with more than 400 million in a single day for the 9 products on February 9th. The latest data for crypto research Arcam put the February 12th outflows from GBTC at around 2,900 Bitcoin, which is 140 million. Quoting them here, outflows from GBTC remain relatively low. And Dan Crypto Trades also posted today's Bitcoin sent out by GBTC comes out to be 2.9 thousand Bitcoin, which is 138 mil worth. Outflows from GBTC remain relatively low. Friday's ETF net flows saw a massive 541 million increase, which is the second biggest day yet. That makes 11 consecutive positive days of net inflows. So the ETFs are finally catching up, which is a good thing. Now, also breaking news, Wall Street ETFs are buying 12.5x more Bitcoin per day than the network can produce, increasing the demand and the price. This is actually a interview. Pompliano was just on CNBC this morning, and later on Rumble, I'll be doing a react session to this 5-minute clip of Pompliano discussing the unprecedented demand in the ETF market. And again, we have a halving occurring in roughly 2 months, so that supply is going to get chopped in half. Yet again, can you say supply shock? And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, Bitcoin's implied hash adjusted fair value is now $115,000 per coin. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the high priest. Shout out Doug, just gifted 5 memberships to the channel. Congratulations to Shane Sullivan, Jim Green, Cosmic Clan, Belote from DC, and John 316. You've all been blessed, so please show Doug some love. I think that's close to 30 memberships already gifted on today's live stream. You guys are pretty lit. I appreciate that, man. Much love. Upgraded member to Satoshi Nutchorus. Now, for those that don't know, Satoshi is the highest membership. I think it's $97 a month. So the HODL gang is like $2.99 per month. MicroStrategy, I don't know off the top of my head, maybe like $5 or $10 a month, but Yo, that's next level, Nuck. So I appreciate you becoming a Satoshi member of the channel. That's pretty lit, family, and it shows your dedication and support. So I greatly appreciate that. And Casey just upgraded as well for 2 months. Whoa, Nuck just got me looking and found this. Greatly appreciate that, Casey. You've been very kind. All of you guys are remarkable. So greatly appreciate all the support you guys show us. Whoa, Emilio as well. What's the second best? Well, I'll have to answer that with a little sailor.
Bitcoin. What's the second best? There is no second best.
You got that right. But anyways, family, keep the comments and pumped a-coming. I appreciate everything, fam. But let's dive into our next story of the day. Discuss the 5 things to watch out for in the Bitcoin market this week. First and foremost, let's start with Bitcoin facing 50 Gs. As you know, right now, we're on the cusp of 50,000. We already crossed it here this morning. This is the highest price action since mid-December of 2021. So this is a pretty big deal, family. We've been waiting for this for a while, and we called it. We said 50 Gs was incoming. I've been asking you guys in the live chat for the past week or two when 50 Gs, and most of you called it. You said this week, February, so congratulations. So anyways, let's quote some of the analysts, including Mikhail Van de Popp. Bitcoin looking at the resistance, massive weekly candle through which Bitcoin is back above 48. I am personally interested what price will do around 50,000 in the upcoming 1 to 2 weeks. And lo and behold, we already smashed 50. So I think not even a lot of analysts were anticipating us running up this fast. Van de Popp added the Bitcoin has been stronger and more resilient than he expected, reasoning that up to 57,000 was still possible before the April halving. And others are eyeing the Fibonacci's like Keith Allen, calling for a 69,000 all-time high where we would re-enter price discovery mode. Now, another analyst says I would consider the latter to be highly manipulative and expect it would FOMO in longs before squeezing the shorts to the 52 to 55,000 range. Now, the next factor to keep our eyes out on this week in the market, more concerned about the 50,000 mark, James Van Straten, research from Crypto Slate flagged on-chain data as a reason for caution. Quoting him here, we got 93% when Bitcoin was at 49,000. The inverse also works when less than 50% of the supply is in profit, which usually marks the bottom. Now, quoting Ki Jong-yu, Bitcoin buyers from the 2021 bull cycle are nearing the break-even point. They have waited almost 3 years to see 48,000 again. Kudos to those diamond hands. And once again, congrats to all my Bitcoin hodlers in the green and in profit. The next factor to keep your eyes out on this week, CPI week comes as the stocks hit records. This week sees a classic lineup for the U.S. macro data, with the January prints of the CPI and PPI leading the charge. These will provide key insights into the fight against inflation and the corresponding likelihood of the Fed shifting policy and risk assets favor. Interest rate cuts are the key topic, with hopes of these beginning at the Fed's next meeting in March, fluctuating as data rolls in. So we'll keep you posted with how it plays out. Quoting the Kabisi letter, key events this week: number 1, January CPI inflation data on Tuesday. Number 2, U.S. retail sales data on Thursday. And number 3, Philly Fed manufacturing data on Thursday. Number 4, January PPI inflation data Friday. Number 5, a total of 8 Fed speaker events this week. Who cares what the Fed has to say, right? And number 6, 20% of the S&P 500 companies report their earnings. So again, a big week. Now, next factor to keep your eyes out on this week, mining difficulty prepares its latest all-time highs. Let's go. Far less unusual in the current Bitcoin bull market is another jump for the network fundamentals due this week, as its next automated readjustment is scheduled for February 15th, just 3 days out. Bitcoin mining difficulty is due to increase by an estimated 6%. If it comes to pass, it will take the difficulty to new all-time highs yet again, and above 80 trillion for the first time per data from monitoring resource BTC.com. The impressive move would follow a 7.3% jump from 2 weeks ago, forming the largest difficulty increase since March of 2023. And we all know the Bitcoin price follows the hash rate. A similar story is evident in the hash, which continues its own uptrend this month. The latest raw data from mining pool stats shows the most recent local top of 669 exahashes per second from February 6th. Quoting Van Straten here, Bitcoin's hash rate is absolutely ripping. It's at all-time highs and up 12% in 3 weeks. The next difficulty change for Bitcoin could be as high as 11%. That's a divine number, family. Now, this is a part of the cycle just before the halving. We're to deploy at all costs. And for the final factor to keep your eyes on this week is the crypto greed and fear index. That's right, as crypto investor sentiment surfs levels agreed similar to those seen around the time of the 2021 all-time highs. According to data from the crypto greed and fear index, a pattern is emerging. In a recent analysis, we had sentiment noting that social media users continue to get excited by the Bitcoin price spikes, only then to rotate into alts and increase exposure to volatility. Quoting sentiment, Bitcoin's 13% price run in the past week has led traders to speculate numerous new support and resistance milestones, with 50,000 widely anticipated. And ironically, as these price levels have been surpassed, altcoins have flipped the script in the opening hours of the weekend as the crowd became overly focused on the Bitcoin price. Sentiment showed that despite those altcoins subsequently correcting harder than Bitcoin, the rotation pattern has played out since October. Bitcoin retraces mildly, alt season ends much more drastically, which he summarized on X. And data from Google Trends shows the mainstream retail interest in Bitcoin remains at a fraction of its own highs, despite its price just being 20,000 shy of the 69,000 2021 all-time high. FOMO may not even begin until the all-time high. Quoting Van Stratton. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Let me know your thoughts. Let's discuss. The headline here, Bitcoin hits a record high in Argentina, reaching 40 million pesos per Bitcoin, right? Only a matter of time for the US dollar hyperinflates like the peso, and we'll be saying something similar. One Bitcoin is now equivalent to 40 million US dollars. Mark my words. Bitcoin reached a new all-time high in Argentina, soaring to a record valuation of 40 million pesos per BTC, amidst the backdrop of Argentina's plummeting peso, which has seen a staggering 99% decline against the dollar since 2018. Digital assets are slowly emerging as a beacon of financial resilience and stability for many citizens. I mean, just look at these charts. Holy moly. Now, Argentina has a history of economic instability marked by frequent currency devaluation, complicating savings and financial management for its residents. Over the past century, it has oscillated between periods of growth and dysfunction, transitioning from being one of the world's wealthiest nations to facing prolonged financial crises, extensive debt, and triple-digit inflation. And as a result, citizens have turned to digital assets, showing strong grassroots adoption. In a bid to preserve purchasing power, Argentines have resorted to popular stablecoins such as USDT and USDC for saving and converting local earnings instead of Bitcoin. And according to Chainalysis findings, Argentina ranked 15th worldwide in the adoption of digital assets. And during the 1980s, when Argentina introduced currency controls, public money exchanges transformed into underground entities known as financial caves. These entities have now resurfaced as crypto caves, serving as black market exchanges where its citizens purchase US dollar stablecoins. And operating covertly in concealed locations, these underground peer-to-peer exchanges facilitate transactions away from the public view. Now, Argentina has experienced a substantial increase in its inflation rate. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the country's inflation is projected to hit 250% this year in 2024. Additionally, the country's economic downturn is predicted to exceed earlier projections. In an update this month, here's what they stated. High inflation and sizable fiscal tightening are projected to result in an output decline in Argentina in 2024 before growth recovers in 2025 as reforms start to take effect. Now, is anyone currently on the stream living in Argentina? Let me know, family. These developments coincide with the implementation of extensive reforms by Argentina's recently elected libertarian president, Javier Milei, prompting demonstrations throughout Latin America's third largest economy. I believe the population there is roughly 40 million. Now, during the recent interview, the libertarian leader emphasized that dollarization is the final phase in a series of reforms. Before this, his government intends to resolve the central bank's balance sheet by June, followed by changes to the banking system. And additionally, he expects the banking system to be reformed within a year. So under Milei's presidency, there has been substantial peso devaluation alongside extensive reform efforts. So there you have it, crypto fam. I think Bitcoin will most likely continue breaking out, reaching new all-time highs in different currencies around the world, especially hyperinflated currencies like Argentina's peso. But what are your thoughts on Javier Milei? I'd love to know your thoughts on that. But let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss a $112,000 Bitcoin price prediction this year in 2024. Shall we? The headline reads, Bitcoin will hit 112,000 this year. Analytics platform CEO predicts. That's right. Institutional interest in Bitcoin continues to surge, with a fresh analysis predicting a significant price surge for Bitcoin. According to Ki Jung-Ju, CEO of analytics platform CryptoQuant, Bitcoin can reach an astonishing 112,000 per unit by the end of the year. The analysis takes into account the recent launch of the US spot Bitcoin ETFs, which have paved the way for institutional capital to flood the market. And the official launch was actually January 11th, so it was 1 month, 1 day ago. Today, these ETFs officially went live. Quoting him here, Bitcoin can reach 112,000 this year, driven by the ETF inflows. Worst case, 55,000. Send it. Anyways, CryptoQuant believes that the combined inflows from these ETFs could have a substantial impact on Bitcoin's realized market cap. The data suggests the ETF inflows can add a staggering 114 billion worth to the existing 450 billion market cap, resulting in a potential market cap of 565 billion. Quoting him here, Bitcoin market has seen 9.5 billion in spot ETF inflows per month, potentially boosting the realized cap by 114 billion yearly. Even with the outflows from Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, a 76 billion rise could elevate the realized cap from 450 billion to 565 billion dollars. Send it. The post also highlights the declining outflows from GBTC, which I referenced earlier, which have significantly decreased since the ETF's introduction. The GBTC was a popular investment vehicle for institutional investors before the spot ETFs became available. And at this time, Bitcoin is above 50 G's, baby. And in addition to Key's predictions, experts are suggesting that the Alpha Crypto's price can surge even before the anticipated block subsidy halving scheduled to take place in April. Adam Back, CEO of Bitcoin tech firm Blockstream, a well-known cypherpunk developer, believes that Bitcoin can hit new all-time highs or even surpass the six-figure mark sooner than expected. Quoting him here from X, October 1st, 2021, Bitcoin crossed 47,000 like yesterday, then on its way to 69,000 all-time high. That run-up took 41 days. There are 70 days to the halving. Now only 64. Just another data point for what it looks like and how we get there yet to reach a new all-time high or even 100,000 before the halving. And in fact, he even bet some money in Bitcoin that Bitcoin would hit 100,000 by by March 31st, the month before April, the time of the halving. These bullish predictions for the Bitcoin price this year highlight the growing confidence amongst the analysts and industry figures. However, it's essential to approach these forecasts with caution, as the Bitcoin and crypto market is known for its volatility and unpredictability. Bitcoin's price trajectory will likely be influenced by numerous factors, including market sentiment, regulatory developments, and overall market conditions. Investors and enthusiasts eagerly wait further for the developments to see if these predictions become a reality. So what are your thoughts, crypto fam? Can you see price discovery mode, new all-time high before the halving, and potentially a six-figure Bitcoin price? Let me know. Here's another six-figure Bitcoin price prediction. We just covered 112,000 by this year in 2024. Well, I got more six-figure price predictions for you. And then we'll dive into our feature story of the day and even discuss a 10 million Bitcoin price prediction. But here we go. The co-founder and CEO of market intelligence firm CryptoQuant thinks the Bitcoin ETF inflows could propel Bitcoin to new all-time highs in the coming months. We're referring to this 100,000 level by the end of 2024. The analyst bases his predictions on two metrics: Bitcoin ETF inflows and Bitcoin's realized cap, which is an on-chain metric that attempts to provide a better estimate for Bitcoin's market cap by eliminating the long lost and unclaimed coins in the calculation. Now, using Bitcoin's realized cap, the CryptoQuant CEO identifies the potential ceiling and floor prices for Bitcoin this year. Bitcoin can reach 112,000 this year, driven by the ETF inflows, with the worst case scenario at 55,000. And looking closer at the on-chain metric, he says Bitcoin's realized cap currently sits at 451 billion, but says the ETF inflows can push the realized cap to more than $500 billion. Quoting him here, the Bitcoin market has seen 9.5 billion in spot ETF inflows per month, potentially boosting the realized cap by 114 billion yearly. Even with GBTC outflows, a 76 billion rise could elevate the realized cap for 451 billion to 565 billion, which I just touched upon in the previous story as well. So with the current spot ETF trends, the top price can reach $104,000 to $112,000 this year. Personally, I think that's a pretty rock rock solid target for Bitcoin in 2024. I'm still optimistic that we'll hit the cycle peak in 2025 if history is to rhyme, because the halving of 2012, we hit a cycle peak in 2013. The halving of 2016, we hit the cycle peak in 2017, roughly 20,000. And then in 2020, we had a halving, and it wasn't until November of 2021 we hit the current all-time high of $69,000. So I'm still pretty optimistic that the cycles are intact, but I'd love to know your thoughts, family, as we continue the pumpage. But anyways, fam, without further ado, let's dive into our featured story of the day and discuss the Bitcoin price hitting $10 million per coin, according to this expert. So here's the timeline. I'm going to break it down for you. Pump the likes to pump the stream. This is history in the making. Our first time recrossing 50,000 per Bitcoin in the past 2 years, and this pump is just getting started. So let's go. In an in-depth analysis shared on X, Fred Krueger, a renowned crypto analyst from Elm Street and former founder and chairman of Traffic Marketplace, delivered a staggering forecast on the future price trajectory for the King Crypto. Krueger's bold prediction posits that Bitcoin price could eclipse the $10 million mark within the next 10 to 20 years. That's right. Krueger's projections are rooted in a detailed examination of adoption trends, technological advancements, and a comparison with the growth trajectories of major tech innovations and social media platforms. His analysis begins with a retrospective question posed by Tom Lee in 2019 about the actual number of crypto owners, which was estimated to hover around 500,000. This figure was partly derived from the following crypto Twitter, where having 100,000 followers might denote influencer status within the Bitcoin community. Krueger points out a stark contrast in the metrics of influence when compared to the mainstream social media giants. Quoting him here, "You really need 10 million followers to be a star on Instagram versus 100,000 to be a star on Bitcoin Twitter." So that means JV got a long ways to go, because I think I only have 37,000 followers on Twitter. So make sure to follow me on Twitter, fam, so I can become a superstar too, please. Anyways, Krueger's insights extend beyond mere follower counts, venturing into the realm of adoption percentages and the potential growth trajectory for Bitcoin he shared, allowing for growth since 2019. I'll put that number at 2 million today, but as with all tech, once adoption really starts, it reaches much higher percentages. His reflections on competing with Facebook in 2006 with his company, Tag World, provides a historical lens through which to view Bitcoin's potential. Now 3 billion people use social media, he stated, drawing a parallel to suggest that a similar explosion in user base could be on the horizon for the King Crypto. Krueger boldly estimated, "I would guess in 20 years, 2 billion people will use Bitcoin," suggesting a 1,000x increase in adoption. So now let's discuss this path to 2 billion users. The cornerstone of Krueger's argument lies in the fixed supply of the Bitcoin, as it implicates for the price as adoption scales. If the price is 48,000 with 2 million users and the supply is fixed, imagine where we'll get with 2 billion users. He elaborates, providing a clear rationale for his prediction. In addressing potential skepticism in the competitive landscape of crypto, Krueger remains unwavering in his belief in Bitcoin's supremacy. That's right, we're talking about the apex predator. Quoting him here, "So Bitcoin has an immediate goal of 1 million, which is parity to gold. And we get there this cycle. And then with adoption, we get to the crazy numbers. All you need to do is buy it and not sell it," Krueger asserts, emphasizing Bitcoin's unique value proposition and its fixed supply as key differentiators that will drive its unparalleled adoption and increase to the comparison of other digital assets. And furthermore, Krueger delves into the mechanisms that could accelerate the Bitcoin journey towards widespread adoption, pointing to the pivotal role of financial instruments like the spot ETFs in democratizing access to Bitcoin for millions of American investors, as he shares here. The ETF is going to be a big first phase in adoption. Getting a significant percentage of those who own a Bitcoin ETF in the next 5 years is not that difficult. Now, Krueger predicts underscoring the ETF's potential to bridge the gap between traditional finance and Bitcoin for the mainstream investors. And though technological advancements, particularly in enhancing the Bitcoin scalability and usability through layer 2 solutions and trustless wrap BTC, are highlighted as critical enablers of a much bigger wave of adoption. Krueger argues for the necessity of consumer-grade apps that can facilitate Bitcoin's transition into the mass market use cases. Quoting him here, we need consumer-grade apps to broaden Bitcoin to mass-market use cases. This is what eventually makes Bitcoin win, he points out, signaling his confidence in the technological evolution that will underpin Bitcoin's ascent. Now, overall, Kruger's analysis offers a compelling narrative on Bitcoin's potential trajectory, blending historical parallels, economic principles, and technological advancements. His prediction of Bitcoin reaching 10 million per coin in the next 10 to 20 years is not merely an optimistic forecast, but a detailed vision grounded in a deep understanding of market dynamics. I also like to point out, we also have Fidelity, one of the largest asset management giants in the world. They started accumulating Bitcoin back in 2014. They're currently worth $4.5 trillion with assets under management, and they're also, I think, number 2 behind IBIT, which is BlackRock's ETF, as far as accumulating Bitcoin. Collectively, just Fidelity and BlackRock have already accumulated over 140,000 Bitcoin their first month through their ETF products. And I bring this particular Fidelity thing up because their head of macro, Jurrien Timmer, which I have shared on the podcast numerous times over the past few months, has been predicting Bitcoin actually hitting $1 billion per coin. So if you think $10 million per Bitcoin is optimistic, check out Jurrien Timmer's $1 billion price prediction, which he says by the year 2038. What's going to be a big catalyst for that? US dollar hyperinflating. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Just like we're seeing with the Argentine peso hyperinflating, this can happen to the US dollar. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. The bigger question, when? Are we going to see hyperinflation occur in real time? Will it be in 2024? Will it be 2025? Will it be closer to 2030? But here's one thing that's certain. Eventually, it's going to hyperinflate. We'll have a cashless society, and CBDCs will be amongst us. What are your thoughts, family? And what are your thoughts surrounding Bitcoin one day hitting 10 million per coin? And better yet, when do you feel the King Crypto will smash 100,000 and 1 million? Do you think 100,000 is likely in the cards for the King this year in 2024? Let me know your thoughts. And do you think we'll hit that cycle peak sometime this year in 2024? Or do you think the cycles will be intact the year preceding the halving? We hit that all-time high. Let me know your thoughts and where do you feel that price action will likely be